Hey, Billy, have everybody good to see you. Come over this way, please.
Wow. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to this beautiful natural resource we have in West Virginia. Governor, look at the community support we have. I will tell you, Summers County has always been very special. I spent a lot of time here along with the Colonel, the Major, and many of our NRPOs dressed in brown today, and I cannot tell you how appreciative we are of the support. We've got State Senator Jack David, Vince Dees. We've got our Secretary of Commerce, James Bailey. Multiple local EMS, fire department members. Our Sheriff Ferris is here today. National Park Service representatives. I'm sorry if I'm missing anybody. I'm trying to scan the crowd real quick. County Commissioner Mike Gore's on site. I missed the man. Great. Do I still have a job? Most importantly, and it's not a welcome to you. It's, and baby doll, yes, I see you there. But welcome back to the both of you. That's the most that I'm proud of today. And I know you've been in our areas many times, and there's some that are very, very special. But you know, this one is a unique area, and it's the perfect location for this announcement today. And some of you may have already figured out exactly what we're here for. Early on, you know, the governor had his belief in tourism and growing the state. But behind the scenes, what a lot of the public didn't see is his belief in how we need to also protect, preserve, and provide safety and security for the citizens of the state and all of our visitors. So these projects are a part of that. A little over a year ago, we announced our K-9 program. What a success. I can't tell you the great PR, the work that those animals have done, the man hours they've saved, and how they've benefited the public. So we certainly appreciate you for that one. And now here we are again today with another initiative, and it's our brand new Governor's Dive Team. And we are so excited about this one. The Colonel and JB will get into some of the specifics about the dive team, but this is one that is going to benefit the entire state. I've talked with our local 911 director, Lloyd Mowry, who's recently taken the job, but very excited, and he also believes that this particular lake and his area in Summers County will be tremendously affected by this opportunity. There's not a lot of dive teams in the area. I think some of our volunteer units have dive teams, but you know, just like any other unit, the more we can provide, the safer we're going to make our community. So we appreciate all your support, all your funding, all your beliefs in the state. And let me back up. I missed something. You know, here we are the holiday weekend. How many active military or veterans do we have in the crowd? Can I see a show of hands? How about a great big round of applause for them? You guys are exactly the reason we're able to be here today in this land of the free. So thank you for what you do. Governor, I will say, I think we're going to have a little bit of competition as far as keeping the crowd's attention. I would probably be staring at that lake right now thinking about all the fish in it, and I know that's crossed your mind. But anyway, I'm not going to drag this thing on. I do have the distinct honor to introduce Colonel Bobby Kales, who's going to talk a little bit about the program, and then we'll actually get to see a demonstration. And Colonel, I won't steal your thunder. Come on up and talk to us.
Thanks, sir. Hello, everyone. First, thank you for being here and supporting our organization today. And also, Governor, thank you so much for your leadership and what it provides for the state, and especially our agency, and what we've been able to do since you've been the governor. It's been phenomenal. Thank you so much. As you all know, one of the many duties of the Natural Resources Police Officer is that we provide a police service on all the navigable watersheds within the state. Whether it be for the fisherman or woman, whether it be for recreational boating, whitewater patrol, swiftwater rescue, or rescuing victims of a natural disaster as we did in White Sulphur in 2016. We are the responding law enforcement officers equipped and trained to perform all these duties. Part of my vision when I was appointed as the colonel was to stand up an active tactical dive team with members that are trained in underwater aquatics to better serve our citizens by providing a service related to waterborne incidents. These team members that you see behind me form a highly skilled professional dive unit. And aside from that, they are also tasked to be game wardens on a daily occurrence during their shift. And at any time they could be called upon to perform their dive duties, and sometimes this involves emotional and grueling situations for these members. Divers on the team pride themselves in providing a safe, dependable, and efficient unit. Their efforts support local, state, and federal agencies that we work with daily. The service that this is going to provide for the state is an unmet need, in my opinion, through our agency. We should have been doing this for years. This team will perform underwater search and recovery missions involving victims, evidence, and other property. They'll investigate underwater crimes and also things associated with crime scenes. They'll investigate drownings. They'll investigate diving accidents, as well as boating accidents. Next, I'd like to introduce J.B. Smith, and if I can, let you know that we kind of stole J.B. from the South Carolina DNR. His wife applied at WVU to be a professor in early education, and they hired her, and we are so thankful they did that, because JB is a master diver for the South Carolina DNR, and we are exercising his abilities right now in standing this team up. JB has been a game warden for 11 years. 8 of these years as a law enforcement officer recovery diver for South Carolina, and 6 of those years he also was a dive instructor. His certification is through the Scuba Diving International. JB.
I want to tell you, we couldn't have done this without your support, Governor. What you've got going on behind you is it's been a long process, and we know that without the support of your office and our office downtown Charleston, it wouldn't be happening right now. What we've got going on behind us is you've got 4 divers on this boat. They're just going to run a brief demonstration. They're all decked out in dry suit gear and full face mask on, so they can talk to one another on the surface. There's also a diver on the front of that boat that's got a headset on it. He can also communicate with those guys so that we know exactly what's going on the bottom as they search. We also, Governor, have had the pleasure of going, and as the Colonel mentioned previously, go and train with other states. The state of South Carolina's had a dive team for a long time, and they were able to bring us up to speed with what we need. We've got a great deal of equipment that they've assisted us in acquiring, and we will continue those relationships as we move forward. We've got a small recovery item. These guys are going to run what's called it's a pendulum search at the moment. We'll actually use a lot of different search methods. There's a search line at the bottom, and they'll use a grid pattern to cover whatever area it is we have deemed our search area. Our team consists of 10 officers. We've got officers all the way across the state. Each officer has been certified in numerous underwater recovery method trainings and in diver-held specialties. They're all full face mask certified, dry suit certified. And as the days go on, the list gets longer. We're getting them trained up as best we can. We want to have the most professional dive team that we can possibly have. Yes, sir, it is.
I want you to communicate with them at some point in time and ask them how big the fish are right there.
There's probably a Volkswagen-sized catfish somewhere down there. I'm sure they'll find it for you. If we can get those guys to come up here in a minute, we might see what they've been looking for down there. They might have something for us. As you'll notice, Governor, there's a couple of different things going on here. So one of the divers we have down right now, he's just breathing regular air, and another guy's driving nitrox. That's why, if you notice, we've got some different colored tanks going down. We've got to keep them color coordinated, so for safety purposes, we know what air we're diving at what depth and what elevation, because obviously we have some different scenarios going on in the mountain state. We need to make sure we're at the proper elevation every time we go down. Yes, sir, it is. They're doing a fine job.
I think we ought to all clap for them because this is amazing.
Governor, if we can, we're going to get these two guys on the top right there to bring their buddies up here in just a minute. See what they've been able to recover for us on the bottom of this beautiful lake. I will tell you, Governor, obviously we have some beautiful water here. Today it's not so pretty for divers. It's good water for fishing. You'd be in great shape for fishing and boating, but for diving, these guys can't see much of anything right now. They've got, we were out here earlier this morning, I believe they've got about 12 inches of visibility down there. So it's, in our world we call it braille diving. They're down there by feel completely, and that's it. They run that search line, that's their safety net, keeping in touch with their buddies and using the communications they've got in their mask or allow them to keep in contact. And Captain Lott here is going to go ahead and bring them on up. There we go. See if we can get Ian over here. Colonel, that's the okay sign. Doesn't matter where we are, anybody can see that, right? As soon as that diver comes up, he's going to come up and give a knock right on top of his head, and the guy on the surface is going to do the same thing. The safety diver, not only at the top, but also on the boat there with the headset, they're all going to visually and verbally confirm that everything is okay, and the reason that diver has come to the surface is for a safe reason. He's not in any kind of danger. Were we able to, was some of their training paying off, Colonel?
Governor, I like the way they think. This is what they found on the bottom for baby dogs.
Again, Governor, we greatly appreciate all your support, the support of your office in standing up this team.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Colonel Kales.
Yes. Yeah, this will be the last time I speak. I'd just like to give a shout out to the South Carolina DNR and Colonel Frampton and his outfit for absolutely spending weeks training our dive team, and I'm completely comfortable with the training they received, and that will be nothing but successful with this endeavor. Director.
Thank you, Colonel. Governor, this is just awesome. I tell you what, this is another product to serve the state. These guys are the utmost professionals. I had the opportunity to visit and watch their graduation, and they do it right. So this project will tremendously benefit the state. They do have statewide jurisdiction. So you guys in all your 911 centers and Army Corps lakes, etc., you should know how to contact them. If not, we can provide that information. They are readily available and ready to go. I do hope and pray we don't have to use them much, as we do have this holiday weekend coming up, and typically it can be some of the most trying on those folks in uniform. So we just want everyone out there to enjoy the holiday weekend and be safe, but most of all, enjoy these natural resources. So I'm going to turn it over now to the man that's done everything for us. I tell you, his support, his belief in West Virginia, the natural resources, these folks in the uniforms, there's no way I could even begin to describe what he's done for us. And you guys just see the surface of it. Behind the scenes, this guy has been 100%. Sir, we appreciate everything you've done. And ladies and gentlemen, I give you the governor of this great state of West Virginia, Jim Justice.
I really appreciate you more than you'll ever know. Now sit down. And the other thing, and it really starting to get on my nerves, and that is this. You know, at some point in time, I would think that y'all would be happy to see the governor, but for God's sakes, living, why is this always baby dog get stuff? But no, I appreciate you more than you'll ever know. You know, I'm sitting there just thinking about this, and you know, I guess it was day before yesterday now, but you know, I announced it, you know, at the cultural center that we had hit our trigger and we had an unbelievable surplus again, and we've literally gotten in excess of $4 billion of surplus in the last 3 years. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable what's going on in West Virginia. But here's the thing. You know, if we had not minded the store and taken care of what I would call business, if we had not really done that, we wouldn't be sitting here today. We wouldn't have this dive team. We wouldn't have this stuff. We wouldn't be able to do what we're doing for the foster kids, or we wouldn't be able to do what we're doing for the hungry or corrections or whatever. You see, at the end of the day, you can say what you want, but if you're the governor and you don't first and foremost take care of the economics of this state, then everything else you're just holding the bag. Literally. I mean, say what you want. But today when I walked in the door, all we could come up with is additional cuts. How are we going to make some more cuts? And every time we made a cut, more people left. Well, for God's sakes, living, you're just dragging the hole right with you. So what I proposed the other day, and I hope to goodness you'll let your lawmakers hear this loud and clear, what I proposed is just this. We'd hit a trigger to reduce our income tax by another 3 or 4%. Well, at the end of the day, we cut our income tax 21.25%, and now I said, we've got all these surpluses, we got all this stuff. Well, absolutely, there is no reason in the world we don't do another 5%. Now, at the end of the day, I think that's what we should do. Look, it's hard to argue. Have we not taken care of West Virginia like we should have taken care of West Virginia over the last 7.5 years? It's hard to argue that. And absolutely, I believe with all in me, this is what we should do. Now, you got people around that are really naysayers in a lot of different ways, but you've got to show your voices. Now, let me just say this last thing. I guess the thing that I'm the most proud of is when we walked in the door, I mean, it was a dismal day. But really and truly, I have given you some level of hope. And I really have made you laugh. And I really absolutely told you over and over to be proud of who you really are. Be proud of all the greatness that you are. And then I ask you to dream as big as you could possibly dream. And then I ask you to believe. And you did it. And we pulled the rope together. And for God's sakes a living, not only are we here with this unbelievable work that our DNR is doing, it is unflat believable what they do all the time. Every last one of you should be thankful to all these folks for what they do all the time, because they're superstars. They mean it in their heart, and they're the best of the best, and we're really blessed to have them. Now, absolutely, this dive team, it will help us with all kinds of things, from investigations to the sadness beyond belief, recovering people that we've lost, and on and on and on. But absolutely, this is another step in West Virginia's DNA that absolutely we just have to have. You see, you may say, well, why do we have to have that? And I'd say it's just really, really simple. Because absolutely we deserve it. We deserve it. You see, you're really the best. And you've got to believe that with all your soul. Now, the last thing I would tell you is just this. The one thing that oftentimes, just maybe, the legislature missed, the one thing that I never missed was one thing and one thing alone. Who matters? Who matters? Does it matter the senators or the House members or the secretaries, or the directors or the commissioners? Who matters? Is it the governor? Is it his office? Who matters? You know who matters? Toby Needs matter. The voters matter. The public matters. These great folks matter. Do you understand that? At the end of the day, it's not about us. It's about them. We ought not be getting on soapboxes and beating the drum and acting real tough and all that greatness and everything. It's about them. And at the end of the day, when it all really boils right down to it, everybody thought, and a great many in the legislature and on thought that, you know, our roads to prosperity thing was going up in flames. And what happened? Almost 73% of the people, the Toby and Edith spoke and said, we want to do it. And then at the same time, we got off on a tangent beyond belief with this Amendment 2 thing that would have stripped all the control away from our counties, and it would have turned into the god-awfulest dog's mess you could ever imagine. And we thought, you know, not me, but we thought in Charleston that was the way to go. And then I said, I can't take this, there's no way. And so 6 months before the election, you know, I went out and said, no, I don't think we ought to do this. And I know some people will listen to me, and more people will listen to Baby Dog. But at the end of the day, it got shot down like you can't imagine. It really saved us. But what happened in all those situations, as far as reducing our taxes and everything else, what happened? Toby and Edith spoke. The people that are the important ones spoke. We're supposed to be servants. Servants. That's all we're supposed to do. We decided to take this job, and with it comes a whole lot of crap. But we decided to do it. Toby and Edith are the only ones that matter. Don't ever forget that. I'm going to only be here for a very short time now. And I can tell you without any doubt, if you don't keep the economic engine running, you're going to absolutely turn around and you're going to look, and the people, the need for the elderly or our kids or our hungry or our correctional folks or whomever, the need for our kids for foster care and on, the need, you won't have the money to be able to do it. The need for this dive team that can really help us, you'll never have the money to do it. The need for us to continue to do good stuff as far as tourism, or the good stuff as far as the history, culture, and arts, and all the state fairs or all the county fairs and on, you won't be able to do it if the economics aren't right. Keep the economics cooking like you can't imagine. Keep them absolutely cooking like you can't imagine. For God's sakes, a living right this second, and what we should be doing as far as income tax changes and everything and more further cuts, do it. For God's sakes, a living, do it. And you know, the same thing is true with child care. We had a tax break for child care and everything, and a bunch of you got to know this. But if you got a young family and you got kids in child care, for crying out loud, you're almost working to be able to pay for the child care. Do you realize we got to have people come here that have young families that will work. It's great to have our seniors here and retire here. That's all great. But you've got to have young people here that will work and basically have kids in schools. Now, I sound like I'm lecturing, and I never want to do that. Absolutely, Baby Dog and I love you beyond good sense. We really do. And it's been an honor like you can't imagine being your governor. And all I ever wanted on day one was one thing, and that was goodness for Toby and Edith. I don't want a thing for me. For God's sakes, to live in this vehicle that I drive right here, it's got 276,000 miles on it. And it's got bedazzlers that are in the back end because the back end flew all apart. You know, And the vehicles that I have driven, my vehicles, since I took office now have exceeded 1 million miles. I've paid for every gallon of gas. I've paid for every repair. Absolutely, I believe exactly what I should have done when I came. Serve. And I would tell you all, that's what your elected officials should be doing, first and foremost. These are great guys right here. Now these are two great guys right here. That's all there is to it, and you need to really always remember that, because they've done a whale of a job, and they have got it, they know it, and they've got it. But Jack, David, and Vince, they're the best. They're the absolute best. So with all that being said, all I can do is just tell you it's been a real honor, beyond belief, to fly with you, and I'm not going to quit until we run through the finish line. So let's keep it going. God bless each and every one of you.
Governor, thank you. We did not take that as a lecture. We understand you've been fighting for all of us. We do thank you for that. Folks, enjoy the refreshments brought from Pipe Stem. Be sure to check out the dive equipment. I think the governor may stick around if he can give a moment or two. There's a few folks that would like to meet him. I know our new National Park Service superintendent's in the house today. But thank you so much for coming. Please be safe over the weekend. God bless you all.
Yeah, now, listen here. I've got one more thing, okay? Now think about this. Most generally, every Christmas Eve, more people die on the highways than any other time. Now think about it. Christmas Eve. And think about how that would be with your family. I mean, really and true, the 4th of July is a celebration beyond belief. You got to watch. You got to watch, because there's people out drinking. You got to worry about yourself drinking. There's absolutely all kinds of things as far as being on the waters and everything. You got to watch. So please be careful. And please be absolutely respectful of all these great people in uniform and all the stuff that they do all the time. They're just trying to help you. And the last of my last is just this. I'll stay right here, and if any of you want to come up and say hi to Baby Dog, and you'll probably want to take a picture and everything. I'll never be in the picture, thank you. But nevertheless, God bless each and every one of you. Y'all have a safe 4th.